Often called the treeless plains, the native grasslands of the Monaro have allowed for the establishment of a significant sheep and cattle grazing industry. The Monaro Grasslands project is now helping graziers to conserve high-value native grasslands and to manage their land more productively.
Yeah, the Monaro's pretty challenging with its weather. There's no set weather pattern, and there's so many microclimates here within probably 5 or 10 miles, I suppose. This is probably some of the driest country on the Monaro.
We're quite a brittle environment where we get long periods of dry spells where we have to really manage our country well because it can be damaged by overgrazing. Sheep tend to keep country short where if they live in a paddock that's set stock for years on end, they just pick out an area and they tend to just keep grazing that, and they might be utilising 20–30% of the paddock and tend it pretty bare and short, and the rest of it becomes rank and unpalatable. And so it's very important then, if you want to utilise the country and also keep sustainable grazing practices, you have to get the stock to eat areas they normally wouldn't go to.
The Monaro grassland is one of the largest areas of temperate native grasslands in Australia. And it's important, therefore, that we encourage landholders to try and conserve that unique area, but at the same time, landholders need to increase production and to maintain profitable farms. So this actual Monaro Grasslands project was set up to see if we could provide landholders with a series of incentives to achieve that outcome, to increase productivity, but at the same time to try and enhance the conservation value or biodiversity values of the Monaro native grasslands. Landholders were provided with a series of incentives. They were provided with incentives to control weeds, and in some ways that was regarded as a carrot to attract landholders to the project itself. But the real goal was to encourage landholders to better manage their native grasslands, and a series of incentives were provided to landholders through fencing and provision of water to subdivided paddocks to better manage their native grasslands.
Yeah, we've had a huge result in just weeds, but it's probably just been through the chemical part they gave us at the start. But the fencing won't probably show up for a couple of years, but I think it's going to be the long-term winner because it should really help with the weed invasion if we can keep a bit more ground cover about.
By utilising the pastures more intensively, we can then increase our ground cover actually, even though we're eating them down, but then we're letting them regrow, and they're much more palatable and a lot easier for the stock to digest. So some of those paddocks which were much bigger before, the stock would probably graze 20% of them, and now where we can cut them up and utilise the whole paddock, we can sort of pasture management of 100% of the country is great.
It's been very practical, this system, I think. Yeah, I think the people that probably thought it out at the start have done a good job. It's got money on the ground quick, and put it where we need it, where we can utilise it, and I think that's been the success of the show, and it makes you feel a bit more trusting of them, yeah, the CMA. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like you're a bit isolated out here. You've got the weed inspector chasing you or some other mob and with a big stick, where this has just been a bit of an incentive, and I think it's been probably the best part of it, and no, no real pressure to take it or leave it. It was your option, and I think that was good. Yeah.
The whole purpose of the Monaro Grasslands project was ultimately to enhance the conservation value of the native grasslands, but at the same time to encourage landholders to increase production. So the thrust was to try to evaluate whether it'd be possible to have a win-win for the environment and a win for agricultural production. And I think it's been successful in achieving that goal. The challenge that we have in terms of funding and logistics is to broaden it across the whole of the Monaro landscape, and that is where we must head down the track. I also think that there's a clear message for other similar such projects throughout Australia, where the goal is to try and have that win-win in terms of managing natural resources, but at the same time encouraging landholders to manage their farms in a productive and profitable way.
The future is more education the better. You know, people come up with great ideas now of different ways of doing things, and we've really got to embrace that if we're going to be sustainable and survive as farmers.
I think as a farmer, we all want to try and do the best by the land, because none of us want to see it blow away or wash away. Or, we want it here for our kids and families, but we do have to make a living out of it, so just hope that our actions at the moment make it more profitable for the next generation. And that's probably all you can do, but we have got the country at heart.